Acha ji, welcome to everyone. As we have started our uh, webinar series for the Green Card of USA, and the first session was about difference between EB1 and EB2, and this is the second session, and it's I think specifically only for EB2. And our guest speakers are Naveed Ahmed Arain and Mr. Saeed Mehmood. We have introduced both of them in very detail in the previous sessions. Both are working in a very high skilled profession in USA, and both are the green card holders through these pathways. And I think that is sufficient. And over to you, Said Bhai.
All right. Thank you very much. It's looking very awkward. Like my screen is camera is this one. I think next time I will change my camera. Anyhow, let me share the screen. Um, Give me just 1 second.
We can see now.
All right. Give me 1 second. All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining today's session. Last time we had a clarification kind of session between EB2 and EB1A. We just wanted to make sure that the people who qualify for EB2, they should be actually working on the EB2 pathway. And the people, some of the people might be qualifying for EB1A, which is not very difficult again. That is also people can set up their pathway and differentiate between them and take up the required session. So we have a less load on each one of those sessions. But today we are going to discuss the EB2 National Interest Waiver Framework. All right. So thank you so much. Let me take it from here. Okay. So today we will cover the extraordinary ability 2, which is master's degree, as well as with the exceptional ability and understanding key requirements, blah blah. So now let's go to our next slide. Okay, last time we had a word of wisdom like eliminate your fears. So someone did work on that. Any of the participants worked on like his fears?
Obviously, me and Mubashir Bhai have a great chat on this topic. This phrase, even me, Mubashir Bhai, and Yasser, even lot of participants really appreciate this phrase, because most of us are still in before your lecture we were in the state of fear, but now we are in a good position, and hopefully this will help us a lot.
Great, thank you. I just wanted to express my fear, and sometimes, and I could not get rid of that yet. And my fear is FIFO, FIFO, which is not FIFO actually, FOFO, FOFO, fear of finding out. Sometimes many of the things, for example, if some email comes from someone nasty person, I don't like to get an email, I wouldn't even open that email for a long period of time, you know, because I have a fear, I don't know what that comes out of that one. So that's called a fear of finding out. That's a very latency stages of these fears of today. Things are bombarded on us, and I do not open many. My wife always pushes me. Okay, say when you come back from home, check the mailbox, and I often skip it. I don't want to open the mailbox. I know there will be some penalty. There's be some traffic fine. There will be something, like really, honestly. So my fear is basically I don't put my hands into those things. So I'm struggling with that fear now. Just wanted to, open that conversation. So this is very, very detrimental for me. It's hurting me. I miss the deadlines, and I keep on doing it. I don't know why, but I'm trying to get over with this fear. So that's my fear.
I
So
think
Salman,
Mubashir
Mhm.
bhai raised his hand.
Yes, sir.
Sir, just with your permission, I just want to add something into your some drops of your ocean
Please, please,
अवेयरनेस सेशन।
please.
सर, पहले आपने जो बात की माशाल्लाह बहुत अच्छी बात की कि आपके इर्द गिर्द जो चीज़ें हैं उनके बारे में जो आपकी फीलिंग्स और एहसासात हैं, माशाल्लाह ये स्पिरिचुअलिटी का एक एंगल है, स्पिरिचुअलिटी का एक ज़ाविया है, जिसमें हमें ये नज़र आता है कि हर चीज़ जो है अगर हम उसको एनर्जी की सूरत में या फोटोन की सूरत में देखें, तो अगर फोटोनिक लेंसेज़ हम लगा लें तो आपकी माशाल्लाह वो बात जो है मुझे समझ आती है कि हर चीज़ के अंदर से जो एनर्जी आ रही है, जो हमें ऑक्यूपाई की हुई है, ग्लास है, कप है, ये है। एक बहुत अच्छी किताब है सेलेस्टीन प्रोफेसी, बहुत प्यारी
Mm,
किताब लिखी है, उसमें उसने एनर्जीज़ का ज़िक्र किया है। उसके अंदर उसने
mhm.
डिफरेंट एल्गोरिथम एनर्जी का कि हम नेचर से एनर्जी लेते हैं, लोगों से एनर्जी लेते हैं। कभी-कभी आपने फ़ील किया होगा कि किसी लेक्चर के बाद आप बहुत एनर्जेटिक फ़ील करते हैं और कभी-कभी
सही,
आप कोई लेक्चर देते हैं तो आपको ऐसे लगता है जैसे आपने सक आउट कर लिया किसी ने एनर्जी को, बिल्कुल
बिल्कुल ऐसे,
एनर्जी लेस हो गए
बिल्कुल
हैं।
ऐसे,
लेकिन जो फ़ियर
बिल्कुल
के
ऐसे।
हवाले से ना सर, मैं और सलमान भाई बात कर रहे थे। मैं जल्दी इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ कि ताकि हम थोड़ा-सा टाइम को भी थोड़ा-सा सेव कर लें। आई विल जस्ट टेक 1 मिनट, नॉट मोर देन दैट सर।
Mhm.
सर, वो एक कुरान मजीद की आयत है ना कि इन्ना औलिया अल्लाह वला खौफुन अलैहिम वला हुम यहज़नून। ये बहुत पावरफुल एक एक आयत है कुरान पाक की, जिसके अंदर अल्लाह ताला की ज़ात अक़दस जो है, वो हमें बता रही है कि देखो अगर तुमने मेरे करीब आना है, तो ये 2 चीज़ें अपनी ज़िंदगी में से निकाल दो। इन्ना औलिया अल्लाह है, बेशक वो लोग जो अल्लाह के दोस्त हैं, अल्लाह के औलिया हैं, अल्लाह के वली हैं, ना तो उनके अंदर खौफ है, ना उनके अंदर हुज़्न है। तो इस हवाले से भी काफ़ी हमारी डिस्कशन हुई, माशाल्लाह आपका भी ज़िक्र खैर चला। लेकिन सर, मेरी ज़िंदगी में मैंने बचपन में एक डिक्शनरी खरीदी थी जिसमें से मैंने ये 2 फ़िक्रे पढ़े हैं, इंशाल्लाह आप इसको एप्रिशिएट करेंगे। इसने सर मुझे फ़ियर को ओवरकम करने में बड़ा फ़ायदा दिया। वो है सर कि इफ नॉट मी, देन हू? इफ नॉट नाउ, इफ नॉट नाउ, देन व्हेन? ये 2 फ़िक्रे जो हैं ना सर, ये बहुत ज़्यादा मेरा ख़्याल है कि हेल्प करते हैं। सर, ओवर टू यू सर। थैंक यू।
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that we are opening up our minds. ये basically minds को open करना that will help us in the coming days as well when we go into the details and the petitions and all that. Thank you so much. Our today's is believe in yourself. When you have so many people around you and everyone wants you to believe in him, or and somehow you don't find yourself enough confident to believe on everyone, just believe on yourself. Do your good diligence and always believe on yourself. Believe me or not, no one else in the world is for you in your favor is better than yourself. So never ignore your thoughts. You are a human being. You are very precious. You are very respectable. You have a thoughts, and you have been blessed with a lot of energy and a lot of deeper thinking. So believe in yourself is today's word. We will take it next week further on that one. Thank you so much. Let's go to the subject. EB2 NIW background. So what happened is basically extraordinary ability two is comes in two phases. There was one phase in 2016, and before that, it is going on since 90s. Extraordinary ability framework, and it was regulated by New York State Department of Transportation. Very strange, unbelievable for me. I could not find out still the what's the connection between these two, but NYS DOT. DOT means I think it might be. I can assume correlated to some aviation or people coming in, flying in, or coming to USA or stuff like this. So we had one say, standard pre 2016, and then what happens in 2016? Someone applied based on that standard, and his application was rejected. And he did not stop. That gentleman, that courageous person, his name was Mr. Dhanasar. So Mr. Dhanasar went to appeal of court of appeal, and he appealed against that. And then the court looked at his case as an example, And making that as an example, they made very important fundamental changes to the previous history, or how previous standards. And that's where Mr. Dhanasar, that's his last name. I think his first name was Kuldeep or something, from India. And then they set up a new presidents. And from 2016 onward, they are working on the new 2016. They set up a three-prong, three-standard, three-benchmark, three-test, litmus test based standard. So that was about a little bit about Dhanasar case. Dhanasar was the petitioner in an immigration appeal reviewed by the Administrative Appeal Office, AAO. He was in aerospace engineering. The extraordinary ability before that was not actually dedicated for engineers and doctors and other people. It was dedicated for some really extraordinary kind of people. Fine arts, athletics, um, many other, people. But he proved that, in his work, which is science and technology or engineering, there can be an extraordinary ability, and that set up precedents. When he tried to link his extraordinary ability with the older standard, it was conflicting, and the court reviewed once again the immigration, and they set up this three-pronged principle. So the court decided that the old principle is too rigid and unclear. We will go to detail. AO used his appeal to establish a new, clearer and more flexible framework for NIW petition, the one we use today. Okay. Pre-2016, it is very important to understand the intent of this immigration category, to understand the difference between both of them. So pre-2016 was the work must be on a substantial merit. So someone who proposes some endeavors for United States, that shall be on substantial merit. And the intrinsic, the word here was used, intrinsic. Intrinsic means something that is a monetary value. So they wanted to see the substantial merit of the things based on the financial value. So if some idea did not have a financial value, they would say, oh, it doesn't have a merit in it. But until 2016, we also need to understand the history of United States. They have been building a lot of construction projects, and there was a kind of a lack of cognitive or deeper sense into the things, research work. So there were tons of projects going all over USA in 80s and 90s and 2000s, and everything was looked at with that merit. But there are some endeavors, there are some efforts, there are some capabilities, there are some extraordinary abilities which basically do not give any financial value right away, but sometimes they put a base for the future research that may lead to actually leadership role for United States globally. So they removed the word intrinsic merit. So they changed the lens from intrinsic to a potential merit. USCIS officers sometimes rejected fields they viewed as not inherently valuable, even if the work was important. So, for example, someone working on disabled children has a huge potential for United States coming generation, but in reality, this was not an area of intrinsic merit. Therefore, many applications like this would have been rejected at that time. So the substantial merit definition, it should help you to understand the merit, definition of the substantial merit. When we differentiated this between substantial intrinsic merit and substantial merit. Okay, the second point with the 2000, we are still discussing the old standard 2016. So the benefit of the work must be national in scope, and that really means coast to coast. They were looking at a very very embodied picture. For example, McDonald is from coast to coast. That was a national scope to them. But then they realized that scope is not actually the physical things traveling all over the USA. Scope is a thought that prevails from east to west also, on democracy, on engineering, on science, technology, all of those ones. So the national scope was basically revised. The third, which was the most difficult time at that time, was the national interest would be adversely affected if a labor certification, which is perm actually, was required. So a candidate had to prove, a candidate for EB2 NIW, which was a different name at that time, he had to prove not that his work, if he gets a citizenship to USA, he would basically outweigh another US citizen, but actually he had to prove the otherwise, that if this job or the endeavor that I'm proposing, if it is done by a US citizen, that will be have adverse effect. So in other way, I was telling that Tom is, I'm a commissioning manager and I do the things, but if Tom does the things, this will be the negative thing. So instead of giving my positivity, my positive approaches, I was basically commenting on a person, someone else. So that was very hard to prove actually, because sitting in Pakistan or somewhere else, it's not possible that you start, commenting or telling that someone else, American, cannot do a job. So I will come here and I will do that job, because that is so important. So it was impossible to prove unless, so they changed that. So this says that this was the most problematic requirement. You had to prove that hiring a minimally qualified US worker would harm the national interest. Look at that, would harm the national interest. And this was basically impossible to prove in many cases, because perm is about the job while NIW is about the person. So USCIS often denied cases because the applicant could not show that no American could do a similar job. So that was basically a very, very major conflict. So these were the three major things that the court addressed. And so what the court gave the verdict was, remove the impossible harm to national interest requirement. So you don't have to prove any further that that if I do not come to United States will be endangered, right? So remove the strict national in scope rule. So they basically diluted that rule in not the it is still, the scope is still the national, but the way we measure it is not basically through physical assets or physical population of your work. Actually, it is a theoretical or the propagation of your idea from east to west, or even if it can have the potential from east to west, what is called the national scope now. So replace the intrinsic merit with a broader substantial merit concept. Instead of, as I said, again, focusing on the monetary value of your work, now we are talking about substantial or potential merit. Made a NIW suitable for researchers, founders, entrepreneurs, etc. So now you can see that here comes the researchers. How a researcher would prove the intrinsic value of his work, right? Until his product is mature, it is launched, is some investor invests money onto that, and then finally makes a profit. Then only then you can say, okay, this is a substantial merit. So, but lately, US realized that the research work done by one of these or any one of them is basically can create a strong foundation for the rest of the work, and many people can carry it out from there. So researchers have got founders, entrepreneurs just set up a dream. Actually, they set up a small office, they set up a dream, and they have nothing more than a dream and an idea. So all these people were pulled into EB2 category. Allowed regional or even local impact to still qualify, right? So even if the visible impact is local and it has a potential national impact, they would take it as a national impact. Allowed future potential, not just past achievement, right? So therefore, focusing your petition on having your past achievement, probably is not what they are looking for. If you have any, this is good. But if you don't have any past big achievements, you do not need to be disappointed at all. If you have a future potential idea, that is what's gonna basically help you to avoid this immigration. So all these three things, 4 or 5 things, they summarized into three. Prong means basically benchmark or three litmus or three benchmarks where they test this one. So that's the word prong comes from. Three prong test is much more logical and petitioner friendly. Okay, so as a matter of dhanasar, matter means like when matter is a legal word. When we say matter of dhanasar, we are referring a case of dhanasar. So the case of dhanasar, the current legal standard for NIW, the first criteria, which is prong one called, is that the work has to be on substantial merit and national importance. Two things. Your work must have value and benefit to the USA at a broad level. The second prong is you should be well positioned. You should be well positioned. It is not saying well positioned in USA. You should be well positioned in your skill set and abilities to advance these individuals further. So that's the second prong. Third prong is it is beneficial to the US to waive off the job offer, which is perm. If we look at uh, the material of the petition, the prong one takes about 40% of the petition work. That's where you prove within 40% of the prong one. Prong two takes about 40%, and prong three takes about 10%, and the 10% is remainder of the cover letter and the other things. So in reality, let's put it into mathematics. If you have a 40 pages petition, by the way, it's very long, but if you have a 40 pages petition, then you are talking about like 40% of that, 16 pages on prong one, 16 pages on prong two, and then prong three about 2 pages. That's very small, 2 to 3 pages maximum, and 2 pages maximum, and then a page on your master's, your basic qualifications. We will go through into the detail of the petition, but overall structure I'm telling you. Today I actually met someone last week, and his petition was quite lengthy. So I don't know if I want to take the conversation to that side, but the more stuff, the more wordy, the less impactful it is. The lesser wordy, concise, logical is more impactful. Okay, so today we will be able to discuss only prong one. I will not be able to go through prong two and three today because there is a lot of conversation I want to convey. I will not be satisfied if I briskly run through all these prongs and no one understands that. So I want to discuss prong one here. Prong one says that the work has to be on substantial merit and national importance. First of all, what is an endeavor? Endeavor is basically, in your petition, you are describing, first of all, there are three criteria. You have to have a master's degree and you have to have a proposed endeavor, which is basically meets all these three criterias, three prongs. So what is an endeavor? Endeavor is your intended way forward to come to USA and contribute to the development of the United States. That's how the endeavor is defined, actually. This means precisely that if you want to come here, if you are a design engineer in Pakistan or Canada or Germany, and you want to come here and you want to do the design engineering, and you tell that, this is my endeavor to work as a design engineer, that is going to right away reject your application because there is no endeavor. What is the contribution to United States? You are doing your job. So when we go into substantial merit definition and national importance, we will discuss that detail. But at this point, I can tell you that the endeavors, while defining the endeavors, it has to have a direct impact to the United States, not to an employer, not to an organization, not to a yourself or not to anyone else. It has to have a directly linked to United States. So that's what the endeavor is. Now, that endeavor will be looked at two angles. One is the substantial merit. Substantial merit means your work has a real value, usefulness, or importance to the United States, even if the benefit is not economic and even if it is not at a national scale. And I would add, even if it is not imminent. So all these three things basically even they are not available. If your work has a merit, then obviously you qualify for that. Now, if someone thinks that I met a that I can't forget that gentleman. Someone called me a few days ago, and he had got a vision problem, and he was an IT guy, and he wanted to work on some idea for blind people to identify clearly the color differentiation. By the way, I'm also myself color blind, so I cannot identify various colors. And I'm always looking for some way that I can differentiate between two different colors. I cannot. So this guy was working. He gave an idea that he could develop such a kind of software with the help of a camera that people with colorblind disability can find out that. So this is an idea. Now, you don't have to have a job. You just have to bring up an idea. So your work has a real value. This idea has a real value, usefulness. It is useful and importance to the USA. Important to the USA, all the people who have the colorblind situation, they can actually benefit from there. The work is, sorry, the work itself must have value, not necessarily your achievement yet. So not necessarily that you have achieved that value yet, but it has a potential to be achieved. And not only by you, even someone else can achieve that value later after your, based on research that you carry on. So the question here, bottom line is what you do meaningful? This is the key point of the NIW EB2 petition. So is what you do is meaningful? Here, I wanna open up the conversation a little more because this is a very confusing thing, very confusing. Everyone thinks, I think I do a meaningful job, right? I'm a commissioning engineer and I start up the things and it's very meaningful to me. But another commissioning engineer in the United States, he would be doing the same job. So what is the meaning of my job? How do I differentiate myself? How do I create the value? That is the meaningfulness they are looking for. Because, for example, if you are an engineer and another engineer can work here, so from here, so why would they offer you to come and do the same job that someone else is doing, right? So in reality, you are replacing someone unless you prove that either the first person, Tom, who is doing this job, is doing this job a bad, or I can do it better. How do I do it better? I need to describe myself. So it's not a job transfer. It is something more than that we need to bring into that context to prove the value and meaningfulness, right? So that's where the idea comes. You might be thinking that, where are the ideas? Why the ideas are coming from Pakistan and India and Bangladesh and all those third world countries, but the people here are sitting, they don't create an idea? So I don't have the answer to that question because I'm still looking for that. Um, so I just wanted to share a quick idea. My daughter came to me 4 years ago and she said to me, Baba, I need to give an idea into the school. So I said, yeah, I know you're born here, so probably you need to get someone from Pakistan to get this idea, and that stupid is me. So what I did is I took a drill machine and I designed a kind of a brush with that and inserted that into the drill machine and cleaned up the carpet with that. And she took it that amazing idea. She won the whatever. I believe me or not, gentlemen, right after about 8 months, DeWalt and many others on Home Depot, there was a queue of those products. There was a queue of those products that coming from an 8th grader. Right? So my wife is a witness of that, because I was selling my Canada house in those days, and I really need to get rid of many of the spots on the carpet, and I made that one special brush, put it inside, and just use it. So in a year, I'm talking about 2016, no, 18 or 19. So then I realized that you can buy it from there too. So yeah, you have to bring some value, some meaningful in your work. Another perspective is that if we define that, okay, I'm a safety engineer, or I'm a doctor, and I will do the same thing over there when I go to USA. So they would say, okay, all right, if you are not have any additional value than the doctor that is here, then probably you should apply for H-1B visa, because that is a job visa. That is a job visa. It's not a job visa. Job visa means you get a job. There are 200 other people doing the similar jobs, and then you come over there and you do the same job. But it is not that one. It's not a job transfer. It is something a little more than that, just a little more than that, right? So it can be within your job. It can be even out of your job. Okay, so in the next slide, if you see on the left side, substantial merit is highlighted, and national importance is, we will discuss. One thing very important, when you are writing your petition, you should write on the left side on the wall the word substantial merit, substantial merit. On the right side of the wall, on a A4 paper, you will write here national importance. The problem is here, this is my personal issue, but maybe you are better at that. Uh, they always merge together at some point. When I'm trying to say about something about myself, I always merge both these two concepts, substantial merit and national importance. They are absolutely two completely separate terms. So when I started writing the same way. Okay, I know what substantial merit, I know what national importance is. That okay, all right, I'm gonna write. When I started writing the petition, at some point I realized that I'm slipping from substantial merit to the national importance, and from national importance back to the substantial merit. So these are two different concepts: substantial merit, national importance. So put a big paper on your left hand side in the room that you're working, and on national importance on the right side. So you focus only on one subject, because that is the way US CIS officer will look. When he will look at substantial merit, he will not look at national importance. When he is looking for national importance in your petition, he would not ignore completely everything else. So that's his check mark. We are going to discuss substantial merit here. Now, areas of substantial merit, we discussed already what substantial merit is. Now we are discussing the areas of substantial merit, which is in scientific side, research, engineering, AI, machine learning, innovation, publications, all those comes as a substantial merit, right? Now, if you see any here, any one of these scientific research is something not, but your research is your research. If me and Salman are working in the same company, we are both engineers, then we do the same job every day. We fill the same forms, we do the same everything, but our research will be different. So research is not which is the day-to-day job. Similarly, some engineering examples are not day-to-day jobs. Engineering profession is a day-to-day job, but engineering, work, innovative work done is not a day-to-day job. That is has a very. We are giving examples of the substantial merit, right? AI machine learning is obviously a innovative idea. Other innovations, publications, right? If you write a piece of paper or article, then it is no one else is doing that, right? People are doing that, but on other topics. On your topic, you're doing it, or maybe some other people may be doing it, but that is your genuine piece of work. Cultural, education, or social values, even non-technical fields can qualify. Educational impact, policy work, social improvements, healthcare delivery, environmental sustainability, which is my area basically. Then technological side, building products, software systems, infrastructure, automation, cybersecurity, starting companies on the entrepreneurial side, creating solutions, developing IPs, um, building products that help communities or industries. So all those things are the examples of the substantial merit, but it has to surpass your basic day-to-day work. That's give or take. To understand easily, if you do your job more qualitatively, you can have a substantial merit. So if I'm doing a office job day to 5 to 9, I do it like any every other person, then and I don't have value, then probably it's not a substantial work, unless we create some dimension into that work that basically makes it a going back to the this concept, um, um, usefulness, importance to the US, these and has a real value. Unless we have these three concepts into our day-to-day work, this will not be a substantial merit. Let's see what is not in substantial merit. What is not in substantial merit, and we understand mistakenly that this is in a substantial merit, something with no meaningful societal, scientific, or economic value. So something that doesn't have like societal, scientific, or economic value, that is basically not a substantial merit. Please accept my apologies. I do not want to. I should not have used the word economic value here, but economic value means you are creating a part of economy. You are a part of an organization. You are working 5 to 9, and you are creating some economic value, but that economic value is for you or for Elon Musk in my case, but it is not for the United States. So therefore, you have to have a broader concept with a potential to have an economic value in future, and it should be society. It should be meaningful, societal, and scientific value. So work that is purely routine with no innovation or benefit. I think we spoke about this one already. Jobs focused only on internal business operation. Many of the jobs are internal business operations. They do not qualify for a substantial merit. So a doctor, for example, he does a general practitioner. He looks at the patient. He does a great job. He does a wonderful from morning till evening. Looks at 20 patients, but actually, any other doctor would be doing the same thing, right? So that's how you see it. Um, um, so there has to be some additional value in addition to your job. So prong one, substantial merit tax again. USCIS officers uses the wording, the endeavor's significance may be demonstrated in a range of areas, including business, entrepreneurialism, science, technology, culture, health, or education. So initially it was only limited to some of the people, but now they elaborated it this one. And now this is USCIS criteria. It does not require quantifiable economic impact, which means that you cannot quantify ability of a person. Therefore, that they were doing in the past, like putting a intrinsic value, it's not quantifiable. So it does not require quantifiable economic impact. Now, some people say that we are already creating an economic value, intrinsic merit, which is good. But who guarantees that the intrinsic merit is all dependent upon market supply and demand? So maybe you're creating an intrinsic merit for something in Pakistan, which is basically, for example, any business. But when it comes to United States, does it have intrinsic merit or not? So financial intrinsic merit of economical value is not the only thing that they will look at. That basically that's the least thing. So it does not require quantifiable economic impact, meaning you, meaning you don't need revenue, number of users, funding, or a job offer. So it has to be untied from there, right? So this is the real value of the substantial merit. So let's go to summarize. Substantial merit means value of the work itself. Value of the work itself. It is not what you do, it is the value of your work. You are putting your work next to you, opposite to you, not you. You are skipped from there. So your work is telling that I'm important or not. So that work is, you're talking about work and your endeavor, right? So value of the work itself. Is the field or endeavor meaningful? You can satisfy merit even if your work is small right now, affects only a few people, is still in early research areas, is not yet deployed nationally. So I want to always give this example. My son he is 19 now, 20. So Alhamdulillah, he is right this moment driving from Dallas to Houston to see me here. It's his last day in the school today. So he came up with an idea. Okay, the idea is that the idea is that uh, so we have this navigation, right? So that navigation basically takes us from point one to two. So, for example, this navigation, if we enter here, home, so it just tells us we are going home. The issue here is that if something changes on the way, we have to cancel this command all the way and give another command with an additional point into that. So he is building up an idea that interactive and looking at various attributes. He wants to using AI. They want to integrate many factors into this navigation system to make sure that it meets your driving needs on the road. You don't have to press the buttons while you're driving on the highway. It's very dangerous. So it has a lot of impact for safety. People's safety, accidents will be reduced with this one. So for example, I want to share a video on that, but um, um, for example, he said to me video, hey Google, the app he is working, his name is Cruise. So hey Cruise, I want to reach to the airport. What time should I leave? I need to be there by 8:30. Now look at the challenge he is giving to the navigation. Okay, and I have to pick up Peter on the way. Yeah. So all of a sudden, after 10 minutes, he said that, oh, Peter is not coming in. I have to drive myself. On the way, I want to find out a gas station where the gas is cheapest. So don't tell me a bunch of gas stations or the money, Mr. Google, that you have taken from these gas stations to drive you towards that. There are specific gas stations, just tell me the least cheapest gas on the way, and I can drive 5 minutes off off my route. So that is an idea. Now this is an idea that you just take up. You need nothing. You just need this idea to substantiate that as a substantial merit. So that kind of things we are talking about. Examples of substantial merit are safety research, education technology, improving learning, data centers, sustainability research, robotics algorithms, clean energy modeling, healthcare analytics, and there are so many. There's no limit for an idea. So these areas have inherent value, so they meet merit even if the project is small, right? Okay, so the bottom line here is substantial merit means your work matters to USA. Work matters to USA. National importance, your work affects more than just your own small environment. So even if it impacts a few people outside your organization, it has a national impact. Because if the idea is perceived by some other people, other many other people can perceive that, and it can actually go from east to west coast. So it has a national potential for national impact. You don't need national importance to prove merit, just value. Okay. So this was all about the substantial merit. Before we jump into national importance, I would like to leave the floor open because people will forget after that if they have any questions. At this point, I think it's a good time to ask questions.
जी भाई कोई सवाल है तो
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर, मेरा नाम मेहरान है और मेरा क्वेश्चन है रिलेटेड टू द आपने एक पॉइंट पे मेंशन किया था कि काम जो क्वालिटेटिव होना चाहिए, तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि कोई आइडिया, फॉर एग्जांपल आपने एक काम पहले की है जो आपने एक सर्टेन क्वालिटी के साथ और एक सर्टेन इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू थे उसकी, लेकिन जब आपने दोबारा उसको रीविजिट और रिव्यू किया तो आपने देखा कि यार ये तो इससे भी कम कॉस्ट और ज़्यादा जल्दी टाइम में हो सकता है, तो इस चीज़ को पिच किया जा सकता है पिटीशन में एज एन आइडिया?
एक्चुअली
इस पे थोड़ा
इसी ही चीज को पिच किया जा सकता है, यही तो
हाँ।
बात मैं कर रहा हूँ, बिल्कुल आप सही कह रहे हैं।
ओके, ठीक है। तो उसके बाद फिर क्वेश्चन ये जो पॉइंट थोड़ा सा क्लिक नहीं हो पा रहा, इसको उनके नेशनल इंटरेस्ट जो है उसके साथ कैसे लिंक अप किया जाए, अगर इस चीज को
आपने
पिच कर सकते।
बिल्कुल ठीक है। आपने देखा इन्होंने लफ्ज यूज किया नेशनल इंटरेस्ट, हालांकि वो लफ्ज है नेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस और सब्सटेंशियल मेरिट।
सॉरी,
नहीं, सॉरी की बात नहीं है, ये रोज मैं मिस्टेक करता था।
Yeah.
Every single time. That's the reason I said you substantial merit on the left wall, national importance on the right wall. So this idea has a substantial merit because you are improving the quality of something that you are doing. Now, if that idea is perceived by someone else and transformed into a product or a practice, and that practice goes into that discipline, it has a national importance now, right? So substantial merit was the value that we created through that practice into that idea. We put that idea, we added that idea to that practice, and that became a substantial merit. Yes, this is not a regular work. Saeed did not do that, so he did that. So that is a different thing. He improved it. Substantial merit. Now, if you sell that idea, you bring it here, and you think that other people can perceive that idea, or you set up yourself into USA with many other people and share that idea with them, and they say, oh yeah, that's a great idea actually. So now people have started taking that idea. So if some of the people take that idea, that means that it has a potential to be national, right? So now listen, how different is that from the original one, 2016? I will jump back to my first slide here now, where they wanted to have intrinsic value, where this idea has to create an economic value. But actually, your idea is great, and this is the way exactly USCIS will look at in favor of that petition.
Thank you, sir.
Khurram Saab.
Yes, sir.
The experience related to carbon capture or is something benefit to a company. This is one. Will it be a good benefit for the United States as well? Number one. And number two, if the government is not in favor of such projects anymore, so how it will be beneficial if it comes under substantial merit?
Actually, CCUS is one of the leading substantial merited discipline itself. It is substantial merit discipline, even if it is not in the favor of the government. The policies of the country does not work with the governments. It works with the country's infrastructure, and their policies are made by their departments, institutes. Governments come and go. So Biden had a very favorable response towards CCUS, hydrogen, everything. Unfortunately, current government does not have that much, but that does not undermines the importance of the CCUS. It is on the substantial merit. It is an exceptional work, and no one can earn from CCUS except the benefit to not only the USA but global. So it 100% has the respect for a substantial merit.
Okay.
And actually international importance.
Right. So that can be portrayed as part of this substantial merit program as a special.
100%. 100%.
Thank you.
SM Farooq Saab.
Assalamualaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम.
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, आप सेशन कंडक्ट कर रहे हैं. मैं एक्चुअली फाइनेंस बैकग्राउंड से हूँ और पिछले 17-18 साल हो गए हैं मुझे फाइनेंस में हूँ, ऑडिट से लेकर टैक्स से लेकर आप समझे फाइनेंस मैनेजर से लेकर कंट्रोलरशिप पोजीशन पे हूँ। फाइनेंस और अकाउंटिंग जो है ना बहुत जनरलाइज्ड किस्म का प्रोफेशन है। मैं इसमें क्योंकि मैं 17-18 साल से हूँ और मैं समझता हूँ कि मैं कोई रॉकेट साइंस काम नहीं करता, मतलब whatever I do is beneficial to the company itself, but मैं अपने आप को वो कर रहा हूँ, अंडरमाइन कर रहा हूँ, बट जो मेरा काम है वो इट इज बेनिफिशियल टू द कंपनी इटसेल्फ। अगर मैं अच्छा काम करता हूँ तो कंपनी का काम अच्छा होता है, कंपनी की रिपोर्टिंग अच्छी हो जाती है, कंपनी के फाइनेंशियल्स अच्छे हो जाते हैं। लेकिन मैं पर्सनली फील करता हूँ कि मैं नेशनल लेवल पे कोई काम नहीं करता। तो इन दैट सिनेरियो कंसीडरिंग अ फाइनेंस पर्सन, और जो समझे चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट समझ लें या अभी कनाडा का सीपीए समझ लें, मैं किस तरीके से अपनी प्रोफाइल को कह सकता हूँ कि मैं जो है वो नेशनल इंटरेस्ट क्रिएट करूंगा यूएस के लिए, क्योंकि जब तक मैं खुद सेटिस्फाइड नहीं हूँ।
पहली स्लाइड।
Are you there?
फारूक भाई, आपका
जी,
सवाल
जी,
पूरा हो गया या आप चुप हो गए? क्या आप
जी, बिल्कुल
अच्छा,
हो गया, बिल्कुल
सवाल
पूरा हो
पूरा
गया।
अच्छा, ठीक हो गया।
Okay.
मायूस
Yeah,
हो
that's
गया।
very important. So many. Salman, you want to take this question? Or?
सब पहले तो मैं इनको थोड़ा सा मजाक में ये कहता हूँ, भाई आप डॉलर के नए स्टाइल का नोट छापने का कोई आइडिया दे दें, फिर ना।
सलमान भाई,
All right. The substantial merit definition is the work has to be. I'm sorry, that your is a very bad word here. We cannot pinpoint someone. So the work has a real value, usefulness, or importance to the US. So in that perspective, almost not only you, Farooq, everyone is almost doing his day-to-day job, including myself and including Salman and yourself. We are not different from you either. So there's not a lot of value that we can create for US. The way I perceive and I achieved this milestone was to create some value in the work that I do on day-to-day basis. When we go through the petitions, we will also discuss what value I express in my day-to-day work as an engineer. But coming back to your world, there are so many dimensions. For example, forensic accounting, the tax evasion, um, costing methodology, budgeting methodology, policy development. There are so many layers that you can wrap your day-to-day experience into that, upgrade that one, and bring some substantial value. We usually never have a time to do so, but something has to be thought about to bring some value into that one. Tax evasion is a major challenge in Pakistan. For example, if you've done some work on tax evasion or methodology that can improve the tax collection system is very important. If you have a specialized budget, if you have any specialized method for handling costing and budgeting in difficult times like COVID, or where people cannot commit to one price and still you have some kind of a more financial model where you can play within a fine ranges to value a project or price a project or something that is additional value. Um, yeah, there are so many other things apart from the financing. I need your help, Farooq. Here, can you give me one example like the way I gave you 2 or 3?
मैंने देखिए, अगर मैं आपको अपनी बात करूं तो मैंने इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पे बहुत काम किया है। मैंने ईआरपी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन काफी करी है, मैंने स्टार्टअप्स काफी करे। तो ठीक है, मैं अपने आप को थोड़ा सा अगर कॉन्फिडेंस दूं तो हाँ ठीक है, कुछ ना कुछ तो किया है जिंदगी में।
Good. Yeah, those startups.
आपका स्टार्टअप वाला जो पॉइंट दैट्स वेरी वैलिड। इफ यू वर्क ऑन दैट, आई बिलीव दैट यू विल बी पार इन योर पिटीशन।
दैट्स गुड।
ठीक है, मैं इस पे काम करूंगा।
एक स्टार्टअप पे तो कनाडा इमिग्रेशन दे देता है, एक स्टार्टअप पे तो। अभी तो उन्होंने स्टार्टअप पूल बनाया हुआ जहाँ पे आप स्टार्टअप आइडिया देते हैं और वहां से वो आपको पिक कर लेते हैं। तो ये नवीद भाई ने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा, इस लफ्ज पे फोकस करें और मेरा ख्याल है बहुत कुछ निकल आएगा, बहुत कुछ निकल आएगा।
बिल्कुल ऐसे ही। दिस इज रियली गुड। बहुत कुछ नहीं, हर प्रोफेशन में से निकल सकता है,
हाँ
अकाउंटिंग में से भी, टीचिंग में से भी, विजन साइंसेज में से भी, ऑटोमेटिव में से भी, कंप्यूटर साइंसेज में तो है ही इनोवेशन सारी की सारी। So if you have a good idea and you stem on your experience, which is a lot valuable, then obviously it can come back to that substantial merit.
Correct.
All right. A few more questions I want to take here.
Mirza Shiraz.
Yeah, so my question is actually just in relation to the other questions which were asked by the other people. It's related to like idea. Suppose if somebody is presenting those ideas, you were also brainstorming and sharing few examples. Like, do they need to be proven? We can say, do they need to have some proven record of performing or making it practical? I can say implementation of those ideas, or it's only an idea. It's like a conception stage which is not practically implemented anywhere. Can it still be used? And do we need to present these idea as a business case that what value will bring if we will just implement that idea? Or just it's only idea that we need to say this is the idea and this is the concept that we want to work on.
Okay. Yeah, it can be a business case. It can be an idea. Anything that again has a benefit to United States as a country, or yeah, even if it's a business idea, but that business is helping United States in growing, right? Rather than business itself growing, or your even if the business might have some intrinsic value now, or the idea may not have any commercial value or economic value. It can be either way, but that can hit the substantial merit milestone. One of the examples I gave you, for example, if someone creates an idea that I can, Nevada, for example, is a short of water. The water table is very low, and I devise such a methodology that can basically recycle the water, and we can reuse that water for cultivation or crops use. So even that idea is just an idea. It can hit the substantial merit milestone easily. Or if you're already set up a company, for example, in Algeria, Africa, which does the water recycling, and you bring the same idea to here, now the value is there, substantial merit is there, and there are many other companies as well parallel to you who are doing the same job. But as a company, as an entrepreneur, or as an organization, you are adding value at a larger scale to the United States, right? So there are plenty of dimensions to reach to that that substantial merit definition. Yes.
So just follow up on that. I mean, suppose as you given a water table. Like for Nevada and all that thing. So if we take that example, so maybe if recycling is being done somewhere else, and that technology is not novel, like it's the same technology which is being used somewhere else, and if you try to implement the same idea with that old technology, will it be accepted? If we are bringing one idea and it's not successful, so is it possible to make a case again, like appeal with the new idea or with the variation of the idea?
Yes. When you bring a new idea, you are creating the substantial merit of your idea. When you are bringing the same practice which already multiple people are using, you are bringing the economic value in terms of substantial merit. Two different things. When you're bringing you bring a business plan that you want to set up a company in Nevada for this purpose, and that will help recycling the water. That means you are bringing the economic value to the region. And that basically has a substantial merit based on its economic value. If you bring a deviation from that practice and bring an improved practice, that is basically a substantial merit of the idea you are bringing. In that case, you don't have to be specifically hold any intrinsic value. You just have the value of substantial merit of your idea, and that can actually go to the national importance at later stages.
अच्छा सर, अभी तक ये बात हुई सब्सटेंशियल मेरिट और 2 मिनट मिर्जा साहब, आपका सवाल पूरा हो गया?
Just एक follow-up question था
हाँ,
quick sir.
करें, बिल्कुल
I mean,
करें।
just when these ideas are being evaluated by the, I mean, governmental body or non-governmental body, so is there any checkpoint? Okay, is there any lifeline within which it need to become practical? Or I mean, like they might, you know, check that whether we are still working toward that idea or we have deviated from it. Is there any like a counter check body there or no?
No.
Thank you.
No one will be watching your shoulder what you're doing tomorrow once you come here.
अच्छा सर, अभी तक ये बात हुई सब्सटेंशियल मेरिट और नेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस के आइडियाज और चीजों की। इनको असेस कौन कर रहा होता है? आया ये ऑफिसर इनके कर रहे होते हैं या सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट को भेज रहे होते हैं कि ये नेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस की चीज है भी सही कि नहीं है?
That is a very good question, actually. I think your question will help you to understand more on the substantial merit side. Who is doing it? It is not the subject matter experts.
No.
It is the people who are loyal with USA. How is that? No, you need to explain that.
हाँ, नहीं, ये तो फिर बहुत ज्यादा अच्छी बात है कि अगर उनको हम सेटिस्फाई, अब ये जहन में रख के हमने सेटिस्फाई करना है नेशनलिज्म को रख के।
हाँ, now you got the point.
सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट, हाँ, सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट से ज्यादा हमने नेशनलिज्म को इस चीज पे फोकस करना है कि मेजॉरिटी को बेनिफिट, अमेरिकन्स को बेनिफिट कैसे मिल रहा है। और इसमें हमें काफी गैप, अब हमें फायदा भी हो जाएगा कि अगर कोई चीज बहुत ही ज्यादा टेक्निकल नहीं भी है लेकिन हम उसको प्रूव कर पा रहे हैं कि ये नेशनल इंटरेस्ट में है यूएस के, तो उसमें काफी हमें स्पेस मिल सकती है।
Exactly. This is the reason the courts decide, because the courts are loyal to the country. SME is not loyal to the country. SME is loyal to his profession, right? And all you can, SME is nothing. Is just something. Is an SME. So when it comes to the loyalty of the country, it's the U.S. Respectable immigration officers, the judges, the courts are the custodian for this one.
Right.
And that has to be looked at with the interest to the United States. And courts do not report to government. So even if the government, coming back to Khurram's first point, that the current government is not aligned with the CCUS, doesn't matter to that even. If it is beneficial for the country and institutes, that's the word I use over there. If the institutes think that this is helpful, then it is helpful for the country, beneficial, right? So it is not the government even. It is not any company even. It is nothing but beneficial for the country. So the people who judge it, they are the people who are custodian of the country, and they love their country. They want to build it more. They want more talent to come, and that's the angle they look at. So therefore, SMEs are not a part of that one.
इसमें लेट्स सपोज एक नई टेक्नोलॉजी है या कोई आइडिया ऐसा है जो बंदा अभी नहीं बना रहा है और वो अभी दुनिया में एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता या उससे मिलता जुलता चीज है, और लॉयर्स की एक अपनी महदूद नॉलेज होता है, तो क्या वो उसको कोई ऐसा तराजू है जिसपे वो परख सकते हैं कि ये फायदेमंद चीज है कि नहीं है, या ये बस कोई ख्याली बात है, हवाई बात है?
Yeah, this is $1 million question actually. The lawyers, I'm sure someone would be lawyer in this group as well. If not, then listening behind the shoulder of someone else, I know, because most of my sessions are heard by lawyers and they somehow.
सर, इस ग्रुप में मैं और जो इमरान है, हम दोनों ने कैनेडियन इमिग्रेशन लॉ का पूरा कोर्स किया हुआ, सिर्फ लाइसेंस का एग्जाम राइट नहीं किया था हमने।
अरे यार, wonderful. No, lawyer, okay. So basically, lawyers have a much broader sense of the society at large. They are tied up to the values of the, ideally, I'm saying theoretically, they are tied up to the values of the society. They are tied up to the long-term benefits of human beings and the country. So they have a better sense to evaluate if the idea has a potential or not. But on technical grounds, the petitions that I have seen so far, these immigration lawyers were not even able to understand the simplistic HR business model, how an HR manager works or how an accountant works. The petitions that came in front of me in the last 4 months, written by the lawyers on behalf of those prestigious people from human resources, finance, accounts, doctors, engineers. I did not see any value created by those immigration lawyers on those petitions in terms of the subject matter expertise. Right. So probably, yeah, but at the moment, theoretically, they are a better judge of the society.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We go to the next slide. All right, gentlemen. Now we are discussing the national importance. It is a totally different question. So even sometimes the idea is important, but could this work, if successful, benefit the US broadly? Not does it help the US now, but could it, for example, if someone develops a way to basically kill the mosquitoes, we have a outdoor kind of a light, special blue light or something that basically helps you, provide comfort in the camping sites or other things. So the issue is, how is that nationwide, that idea on national importance? Is that such a national importance issue? Even we created a different kind of light that will basically eliminate all the mosquitoes around you. So is that a national important level issue? Is there any special disease that is causing because of these mosquitoes all over the world? Yes. If not, then even the idea has a substantial merit, but its national importance is compromised. A million examples, the idea could be on the substantial merit, but it might not have the national importance. So for an idea to be nationally important, it has to have accepted by majority of the people, adopted by majority of the people, and should benefit majority of the people. Or even if it is not doing it today, in future it can do that. You do not need to nationwide deployment. You only need potential. So that's the basically idea. So what USCIS is asking here precisely is, if this endeavor succeeds, would it matter to the US in a broad way? Would it matter? So that is basically the question. So if it doesn't, if the idea has a different value, is a great value, but it does not, for example, this table we are sitting on here, this table probably can move up and down, but even if the table I have a button that it can move left or right, it can impact only my office, right? Or maybe some other offices, but other offices, when this goes into the other offices, so there are a bunch of people sitting there, you cannot move your desk right or left. So what the idea has a substantial merit, but its application is not universal. It's not nationally important. the carbon capture, utilization, and storage (CCUS) that Khurram mentioned has a national as well as international impact towards the environment. So you have to judge that idea based on its national importance. That how important is this is nationally. Another idea could be there are so many border crossings from Mexico or from some other countries. So maybe a mechanism someone can design that basically filters out this illegal migration. So that has a national importance idea. Now, in that idea, there is a police officer, for example, in Pakistan, and he thinks that he can come here and do the same job as a police officer. The idea is nationally important, but it has not a substantial merit because we are not bringing another set of quality into the same process. So that's how both these two concepts work hand by hand, but totally separate from each other. Examples being improving education outcomes benefits the national workforce. A safety work impacts national competitiveness and security. Sustainable data centers, national infrastructure priority. Autonomous systems, transportation, safety and efficiency, healthcare, analytics, public health. All those have a national importance. Sorry, I'm feeling like a little down. It's 9:30 here in Houston. I usually don't awake after 8:30. I'm gone at 8:30, so I'm feeling sleepy. But okay, all right. So other examples is AI systems improving logistics, impacts national supply chain, educational technology, improving student learning, impacts national workforce, healthcare analytics, sustainable data centers, robotics research, impacts national manufacturing competitiveness. So all of these are a part of the national important. What national important does not mean is it does not require any federal or government collaboration. It doesn't have to be of that level, either that a national or a government funding maybe or collaboration would have been required. It is not, apparently it sounds very good that government collaboration is engaged into your idea, and that means that ensures its success at a national importance, but it is not mandatory. It does not require millions of users as well. You can have a smaller group, but a potential to expand. It does not require immediate nationwide deployment. You should just build a good model, and then someone else can build later on this model, a better model even, and then take it from there. It does not require revenue or customers. It does not require a job offer. These kind of things are not a part of the national importance. The secret here, you don't need proof of current impact. DANASAR explicitly allows for future potential, long-term projections, emerging fields, research stage work, early stage startups, work not yet completed. So that's fine. So these are the basically differentiation between substantial merit and national importance. That with that, I end up the lecture for today. And again, it's open for another 10 minutes for question and answers. In the next week, we will discuss prong 2, which is well positioned to advance these endeavors in the United States. Yes, sir.
Kamil.
Yes, Khurram, and I'm there.
Yeah, thank you very much.
See,
Good morning from
सवाल ये
Uzbekistan.
है
Sorry,
sorry.
okay, continue please.
ये क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर आप किसी भी सब्सटेंशियल मेरिट या नेशनल इम्पोर्टेंस के किसी प्रोजेक्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं और आप उस प्रोजेक्ट का तो पार्ट है, लेकिन ये कि ओवरऑल आपकी उसमें कंट्रीब्यूशन देखी जाएगी या फिर ओवरऑल उस प्रोजेक्ट की का इम्पैक्ट जो है वो जो कंसिडर होगा इस एप्लीकेशन में.
Question. आपकी contribution project, your contribution to the project is basically not the subject here. The cause you're working is the subject here. So it has a substantial merit. If you're doing a carbon capturing, it is tremendous amount of substantial merit, because this is something really in terms of to maintain um, the environmental leadership or stewardship for the United States. It's imperative that we have the carbon capture up and running, that mandate, and it has a national and international importance. What you particularly do in there does not matter. As an engineer or as a master's degree in NIW, you are obviously doing a decent amount of work, although there are many other people are working. In this case, your skill set does not have the substantial merit. The scope of your work is defining your substantial merit.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Saeed.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Rehan, we are waiting for your question.
जी सर, अस्सलाम वालेकुम. अच्छा, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can
Yes.
hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
ओके सर, आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन कि अगर जैसे मुझे कोई आइडिया जैसे नेशनल इंटरेस्ट का चाहिए, तो मिसाल के तौर पर जैसे मैं हेल्थ एंड सेफ्टी में हूँ, तो मैंने चैट जीपीटी को लिखा कि यूएस के अंदर कौन सी प्रॉब्लम सबसे ज़्यादा है, तो उसने मुझे एक दो प्रॉब्लम सेफ्टी की बता दी, जैसे फ्लीट रिलेटेड है या कंस्ट्रक्शन के अंदर कोई स्पेसिफिक जैसे कंस्ट्रक्शन फॉल है. तो अगर मैं उससे रिलेटेड कोई एआई का आइडिया अपना लगाऊं और फिर उसके ऊपर कोई ड्राफ्ट बना के पेटिशन डालूं, तो मतलब ये कोई मुझे हेल्पफुल होगा अप्रूवल के लिए, या ये हेल्पफुल नहीं होगा? क्योंकि अगर मैं एआई को इससे लिंक कर दूं और कोई नया आइडिया अपना दूं कि मैं नेशनल इंटरेस्ट के लिए काम कर रहा हूँ, मिसाल के तौर पर कंस्ट्रक्शन के अंदर कोई भी प्रॉब्लम पकड़ लूँ जो यूएस में ज़्यादा हाई है, तो इज दैट एक्सेप्टेबल?
100%. ये बिल्कुल यही तो चीज हम ढूंढ रहे हैं कि आप सेफ्टी का काम तो करते ही करते हैं डे टू डे, but if you are bringing some new idea into how the slip trip fall or working at height or these concepts, if you club it with some innovative idea, not necessarily AI is just a buzzword, but any other better idea, you can do that. You can have a kind of anything that enriches this protection, that helps the people to stay alert that they're working on a height. That idea would definitely hit the substantial merit milestone. Yes.
लेकिन सर एक चीज़ ये पूछनी थी कि ये तो ऑलरेडी यूएस में हो रहा होगा और काफ़ी सारी ऐप्स भी आ गई हैं, तो ये मतलब कोई नया आइडिया तो उनके लिए तो नहीं हुआ, हमारे लिए तो ऐसे मेरे लिए तो नया आइडिया हो गया, क्योंकि यहाँ सऊदीया में तो ऐसा अभी नहीं हो रहा, पाकिस्तान में नहीं हो रहा, तो मैंने कहा मैं तो आइडिया पे काम कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन उनको तो नया नहीं लगेगा आइडिया, तो इस पे तो कोई इशू नहीं होगा?
देखिए, अगर आइडिया यहाँ पर इम्प्लीमेंट हो चुका है, प्रैक्टिस बन चुकी है, तो फिर तो वाकई आपकी बात सही है. लेकिन अगर वो फिर भी एक आइडिया है और कुछ और लोग भी उस आइडिया पे काम करें, फिर भी आपका आइडिया सब्सटेंशियल मेरिट काउंट होता है. ठीक है ना. अब जैसे एक यहाँ पर रूल है कि आप 4 फीट मेरे ख्याल में मैक्सिमम हाइट है, आप उससे ज्यादा वो डेप्थ में मेरे ख्याल में 4 फीट से ज्यादा अगर हो तो आपको वो हार्नेस चाहिए, और इस तरीके से हाइट वर्किंग एट हाइट भी मेरे ख्याल में 6 फीट या जो भी है. तो दिस इज वेरी मच ऑलरेडी इन प्रैक्टिस. द क्वेश्चन इज कि उसमें कोई क्वालिटी या कोई इनोवेटिव वर्क कैसे लेके आया जा सकता है. याद रखिए, दिस इज फॉर एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी एबिलिटी एंड यू डोंट नीड अ जॉब ऑफर. Did not think that even if you can get a job here, offer letter from a company, that doesn't value to them. The idea in the start of the conversation, I said, bring an idea, put yourself in the background, and your idea should speak out. And there are so many ideas. There are so many ideas out there.
Okay.
Okay, Kamil.
Okay, thank you. Saeed bhai, thank you very much for your time, especially आपने sleeping time था आपका. Last time आपने holiday destination की बात की थी कि आप उज़्बेकिस्तान जाएं. So good morning from Uzbekistan. My question is, gifting is a big issue in America, na? one of my teammate is working on gifting app. बर्थडे
Which
पे
app,
बहुत सारे
sorry?
गिफ्ट आते हैं, gifting,
Gift.
how to different gifts जो लोग देते हैं. So he is working on that app के बर्थडे पे बहुत सारे common gifts आ जाते हैं. So he is solving this problem. Can we consider this as a national interest or it's just a local one?
It's a national importance award, substantial merit है. थोड़ा सा elaborate और करेंगे आप questions को मेरी help के
Idea
लिए.
ये है कि for example एक बच्चे की birthday है, so different parents will just use the same app and they will ensure that the gifts are not overlapped or not common, and our app will help them to find the right gift that this kids did not get last year or he wish what he want to get for this year, like that. So we will put the credential of that kid in that app and we will link the different guests they are supposed to come on this event. So we will help them to procure the unique gift, or what are the required gift or particular age range, like that. That is the idea.
This certainly qualifies as a substantial merit because it is in a way it is resolving an issue. But how does it impact nationally to United States? Is the number of gifts are a part of the economic pressure? Is the Christmas time 2 months? You need to do some research on that how many gifts are being exchanged over the Christmas, how many of them go back to Amazon recycling facilities and people don't like it, or how does my information on this subject is very limited, but if you have some revenue numbers that this money can be used better to basically enrich the quality of the people, if duplication of the gifts is causing wastage of money, and that money can help us to pay the rents or bills, of course, yeah, then it has a national importance too.
Thank you, Saeed.
Thank you, sir.
Mubashir?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Thank you very much for such a useful and healthy conversation. Although we observed कि आज आपकी एनर्जी लो है, जिसका जिक्र जिसका लगता है कि हम लोगों ने आपकी एनर्जी को सक कर लिया, सर.
नहीं, मैंने आज whole the day I've been doing a construction job at my house.
Right. Mashallah.
So sir, I have an attic and I want to recover about 100 square feet of space from there. So I'm putting the wooden floor and framing and then air conditioning work, and
sir,
so
it
much.
Sounds like the mind is like a parachute. Once it's open, it never goes back. आपने आइडिया जनरेशन शुरू कर दिया और हर जगह आप अपने आइडियाज को इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं. सर, क्विक क्वेश्चन सर मेरी तरफ से ये है कि अब हम आइडिया जनरेशन की बात कर रहे हैं. वो कहता है कि जी जुबाने यार मन तुर्की व मन तुर्की नमी दानम. अगर मुझे अपने महबूब को कोई फूल देना है और मुझे नहीं पता कि उसको किस रंग का फूल पसंद है, तो मैं एक पूरा गुलदस्ता दे दूंगा उसको. तो क्या ये आइडिया है कि अगर मेरे पास 6, 7, 8, 10, 11 आइडियाज हैं और मैं कहता हूँ यार सारे ले लो, जिरा चंगा लगता है विचों रख लो, तो क्या इट विल वर्क और नॉट?
सलमान, आप जवाब दे दीजिए.
मैं इनकी मुश्किल हल कर दूं. मुबश्शिर भाई, मुझे लाल फूल पसंद है.
पूरा गुलदस्ता वापस आएगा.
नहीं सर, मैं तो सरकार हुजूर यूएसए की बात कर रहा हूँ ना सर.
सही कह रहे हैं आप, सही कह रहे हैं.
ये सर आप ही जवाब दे सकते हैं.
नहीं, मैं तो लाजवाब भी तकरीबन हो गया, क्योंकि अगर आप उनको आइडिया दे रहे हैं कि आप जो मर्जी इसमें से रख लें, वो कहते हैं हमने रखना नहीं है, आपने करना है भाई साहब, यहाँ पे आके है आइडिया. तो आप बताएं आप कौन सा आइडिया करेंगे.
लेकिन सर सिस्टम के अंदर जो लूप होल्स नजर आ रहे हैं ना, उसके अंदर जो चीजें वोकैबुलरीज आपने यूज की हैं, वतकल्लमु वतारिफु, कलाम करो ताकि पहचाने जाओ, द कीवर्ड्स you just uttered and you try to explain to us, is a little confusing us, because it's not confused. I mean, there is a lots of loophole in this whole system. Potential होना चाहिए. आलू बेचने आए हो, बाद में आलू नहीं बेचे, टमाटर शुरू कर दिए तुमने. कोई पूछने वाला नहीं है कि भाई तुम कर क्या रहे हो. आइडिया तो तुम लेके आए थे, तुमने कार्बन कैप्चर करना है. अभी तुम यहाँ पे पेट्रोल पंप पे जॉब कर रहे हो. You know, the base idea कि मेरे पास ये आइडियाज हैं जो कि चैट जीपीटी की मौजूदगी में you can generate thousands and millions of ideas and you can make a stories. It's not a difficult right now, but you are giving them the 4 or 5 ideas और you are saying यार this is the idea, चलो मेरे पास एक ही genuine है, one big thing है, मैं लेके आ रहा हूँ. और वो कहते हैं हाँ यार ये बड़ा कमाल का आइडिया है और तुमने बड़ा इसको फुल प्रूफ कर दिया है, आ जाओ रेलो, आ जाओ, EB2 मिल गया. बाद में बंदे ने टमाटर बेचने शुरू कर दिए. उसको पूछने वाला कोई नहीं है, क्योंकि उसने तो एंट्री चाहिए थी. जॉब स्टार्ट करेगा ऑब्वियसली वो, या कोई और काम करेगा वो, लेकिन वो आइडिया वहीं धरे का धरा रह गया. तो कहने का मकसद ये है कि इसके अंदर लूप तो है ना, वो कह रहे हैं कि पोटेंशियल तो है ना. अब मैं कहता हूँ कि यार देखो मेरे पास एक आइडिया नहीं है, मैंने पूरी बुक ऑफ आइडियाज लिख दी है. अब मुझे बताओ कि इस बुक ऑफ आइडियाज में से तुम्हें कौन सा आइडिया पसंद आता है. वुड इट वर्क और नॉट. वो कहेगा नहीं यार तुम्हारे पास 2 आइडियाज हैं या 3 आइडियाज हैं और ये वाकई पोटेंशियल रखते हैं, नेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस भी है और सब्सटेंशियल मेरिट भी है इसके अंदर. तो क्या वो उनको कंसीडर करेंगे या वो कहेंगे नहीं 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 यार एक ही लेके आओ, 2 नहीं चाहिए, 3 नहीं चाहिए, 4 नहीं चाहिए. क्योंकि जहां आइडिया क्रिएशन आती है वहां फुल स्टॉप नहीं है. जो सोचना जानता है या आइडिया क्रिएट करना जानता है वो तो कर. सर हेनरी फोर्ड के पास गया था ना बंदा, हेनरी फोर्ड से पूछा यार सबसे ज्यादा पैसे किसको देते हो. कहता है ये बंदे के अंदर कमरे के अंदर बंदा बैठा हुआ है, उसने देखा तो अंदर सोया हुआ था. कहता है यार ये तो अंदर सोया हुआ है, इतने पैसे इसको क्यों देते हो. कहते हैं ये आइडिया जनरेट करके देता है मुझे.
सही,
राइट सर. तो आइडियाज तो हैं, लेकिन हम ये चाह रहे हैं कि अगर हम इसको नुक्ते को थोड़ा सा फैला दें और इसको एक वाइड स्पेक्ट्रम में देखें, तो हम एक आइडिया की बजाय अगर हम 3 आइडियाज दे देते हैं अपने सब्जेक्ट से रिलेटेड. फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने एक सॉफ्टवेयर बना लिया है जो कि पंप डिजाइन करता है और मैंने एआई की हेल्प की वजह से उसमें एआई बॉट डाल दिया है. और फिर मैं कहता हूं कि यार मैंने इसके ऊपर एक बुक भी लिख दी है और फिर मैं कहता हूं यार मेरे रिसर्च पेपर्स भी हैं 4 इसके ऊपर. तो क्या ये फिजिबल होगा, क्या ये एक्सेप्टेबल होगा, रिकमेंडेड है कि एक से ज्यादा आइडियाज दे सकते हैं या नहीं.
अगर चलिए ठीक है, मैं इसको क्वेश्चन को बहुत सीरियसली लेता हूँ. एक से ज्यादा आइडियाज देना जो है वो उसमें मेरिट भी हो सकता है. 3 आइडियाज में फॉर एग्जांपल मेरिट भी हो सकता है, तीनों आइडियाज नेशनली इंपॉर्टेंट भी हो सकते हैं. अब देखा ही जाएगा कि आपकी how much you are tied up into those ideas. What is your skill set aligned to those ideas? What is your master's degree? What is your a bit of experience to that idea, right? And then it will also be seen that how committed are with your children of ideas, 3 or 4 months, right? So if they are organically connected and that is making sense, they share the same professional genetics that you are holding, sir, then obviously all those 3 ideas will have the merit. Now, if they do not share the same genetic structure among themselves or with the same professional genetical relationship to yourself, with your experience, background, qualifications, and your research ability, then it is very it is not helpful. It is rejected. Yeah, because the ideas, all 3 ideas might have substantial merit. All 3 ideas might have the national importance. You know what is missing is your commitment. So you can't do anything. And people know that because they do not know the idea. They do not know the dynamics of, they are not the SMEs. They are the people who judge the people. So if that could help.
इसमें मैं थोड़ा सा इनपुट देना चाहूंगा मुबशर भाई का कि ये तो आइडियाज की बात कर रहे हैं ना कि आके बंदा जो है कोई और चीज शुरू कर देता है. जब प्रोफेशनल इमिग्रेशन होती है, मैं कनाडा आया था, फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट इनको चाहिए थे, तो मैं फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट के कोटा होता था उस पे आया था यहाँ. और लैंड होने के बाद मैंने आज तक फिजियोथेरेपी की यहाँ प्रैक्टिस नहीं की, ठीक है ना। इसी तरह दो हस्बैंड वाइफ अगर आते हैं यहाँ लैंड होते हैं, उनको दोनों को पीआर मिलता है, एक प्रिंसिपल एप्लीकेंट होता है, लैंड होता ही उनकी तलाक हो जाती है, तो दोनों बंदे पीआर ही रहते हैं। तो उन्होंने आपका यहाँ तक का बस ठेका लिया हुआ है कि आपको लाना है, ठीक है। आपने अपनी डिग्री और अपने प्रोफेशनल कॉन्टिन्यूस एक्सपीरियंस से अपना आपको साबित करना है। उसके बाद आके आपको कुछ हो जाता है या आप जो भी करते हैं वो एक अलग बात है। तो अब उन्होंने बंदे तो लाने हैं, उसके लिए कोई ना कोई तरीका तो रखना है। तो इन द गुड फेथ तो यही है ना कि आप एक आइडिया बता रहे हैं और आपके पास उसकी डिग्री भी है, जो आप पहले अटेस्ट करो, आप इवेल्युएट करवा रहे हैं अप्रूव्ड इदारों से, उसके बाद आप एक्सपीरियंस अपना शो कर रहे हैं कॉन्टिन्यूस उसमें, और उसके बाद उसी से रिलेटेड एक आइडिया बता रहे हैं। तो इससे ज़्यादा तो फिर वही बात है कि वो अब वो यानी वो दिल खोल के तो नहीं पढ़ सकते ना वो लोग, तो अपनी तरफ से वो पूरी कोशिश कर रहे हैं। उसके बाद आप आके जो मर्ज़ी करते हैं तो वो अब आप ग्रीन कार्ड होल्डर हो गए हैं तो आपको राय है। जैसे कनाडा में लैंड होने के बाद आपको आपकी प्रोविंशियल इमिग्रेशन होती है सस्कैचुअन की, आप सस्कैचुअन में लैंड करते हैं, लैंड करने के बाद आप किसी भी दूसरे सूबे में जा सकते हैं। आइडियली आपने जिस सूबे के लिए कमिटमेंट किया आप उस सूबे के अलावा नहीं जा सकते, लेकिन कनाडा के ह्यूमन राइट ऑफ चार्टर एंड फ्रीडम है कि आप पूरे कनाडा में जो पीआर कार्ड या पासपोर्ट होल्डर है वो पूरे कनाडा में कहीं पे भी जा सकता है। तो आपको डिपोर्ट नहीं किया जा सकता उसके बाद, क्योंकि अब आप लैंड होके परमानेंट रेजिडेंट हो गए
नहीं
हैं।
नहीं, वो नहीं हो सकता, वो नहीं हो सकता। लेकिन मैं यहाँ पर एक फंडामेंटल सवाल आपके साथ करना चाहूंगा मुबशर, मैं जवाब देने के बजाय, क्या ये जरूरी है कि हम कहें कुछ और करें कुछ, जबकि हम वो कर भी सकते हैं जो हम कह रहे हैं? आप इंजीनियर हैं तो आप इंजीनियर का काम कर भी तो सकते हैं ना यार। लेकिन
मैं आप माशाल्लाह आपने बड़ा अच्छा सवाल किया। मैं अब बिल्कुल आप ही की पेज पे हूँ। मेरा क्वेश्चन जो था वो सलमान भाई ने जो जवाब दिए बिल्कुल दुरुस्त हैं, लेकिन वो इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में नहीं है जो मैंने क्वेश्चन किया था। मेरा ख्याल सही साहब ने उसका जवाब दे दिया है। आपकी जो बेसिक क्वालिफिकेशन है, नंबर्स ऑफ ईयर्स ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस है, उसके साथ अगर अलाइन कोई आइडिया आता है जो सब्सटेंशियल मेरिट और नेशनल इंपॉर्टेंस की फिल्टर में से गुजर जाता है, तो दैट विल बी मोर वैलिड। अब सही साहब का क्वेश्चन ये है कि आप कोई ऐसी चीज कहते हैं, माल अता कलूना मा तो फलानू तो फालून, क्यों कहते हो वो बात जो तुम करते नहीं हो? मेरा ख्याल है जो फोर्स और कमिटमेंट और पॉजिटिव एनर्जी और वाइब्स आएंगी उस आइडियाज में, जिसको एक लेकर जेन्युइनली आप उसके ऊपर वर्क करके करेंगे, ऑब्वियसली उसके अंदर मैं देख रहा हूं कि बहुत ज्यादा हमारे दोस्त जो हैं उसको मेकअप करने की भी कोशिश करेंगे और डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ एक्सपीरियंसेस या आइडियाज को एक जगह इकट्ठा भी करेंगे, उसके हवाले से जो भी उनके पास सोर्सेज हैं उनको यूज भी करेंगे। लेकिन मैं ये समझता हूँ कि जो कुछ भी करें, फेक इट अंटिल यू मेक इट वाला कंसेप्ट जो है, उसको बहुत जेन्युइन लेके कमिटमेंट के साथ किया जाए तो वो ज्यादा पुरअसर होगा। और आंसर इज ट्रू कि उसमें वाइब्स भी आएंगी और लोग उसको सुनेंगे भी। और अगर हम ऐसे ही थ्रो कर दें 2 आइडियाज 3 आइडियाज, तो उसकी वैल्यू और उसकी जो इम्पोर्टेंस और जो इंटेंसिटी है वो मेरा ख्याल है कि फेक हो जाएगी, शेक हो
बिल्कुल
जाएगी।
ठीक,
तो आई
बिल्कुल
गेट योर
ठीक,
आंसर सर। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
परफेक्ट। आपने खुद ही उसको एक्सप्लेन कर दिया और बहुत अच्छा, थैंक यू वेरी मच। बहुत अच्छा आपने एक्सप्लेन किया उसको, थैंक यू।
वाइंड अप करें सर?
All right, sir. If there is
सर
nothing further, then we
हाँ
wind up.
सर, अगेन आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, आपकी कीमती टाइम का भी और आपकी कमिटमेंट का भी और आपकी मोटिवेशन का भी सबके लिए। और ऑडियंस का भी बहुत शुक्रिया, बड़ी एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन सबने की, बड़ी अच्छी एक्टिव क्वेश्चन आंसर बहुत अच्छे हुए। और एक लोगों के क्वेश्चन से दूसरे लोगों के सवालों के जवाब भी खुद ब खुद हल हो जाते हैं। और हमाद भाई आपका भी बहुत शुक्रिया, आप भी साथ साथ चैट में जो सवाल ऐसे थे इंडिविजुअल बेसिस पे वो आप सर्च कर करके हमें शेयर करते रहे हैं। ये भी सर हमने एक पैरेलल में, आप तो लेक्चर दे रहे होते हैं ना, हमने पैरेलल में एक और काम भी किया हुआ है, जो सवाल हम लोग अपने तौर पे जवाब दे सकते हैं ना चैट में, वो हम देते रहते
थैंक
हैं
यू
सर।
सो मच यार, इतनी बड़ी सपोर्ट आप लोगों की। बिलीव मी, आई वुड नेवर बी एबल टू run such a long session without your support. Trust me or not.
थैंक यू
How
सर।
should I say that? I will talk to you personally. But honestly, I run another sessions too on Saturday morning, and it's very irregular. I'm not able to, do a lot of. And I was talking to someone this evening. Actually, to Khurram, that
और
the way team is driving me is I'm extremely thankful, it's very helpful. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, sir. आपका भी फिर मिलते हैं इंशाल्लाह
All
थर्ड
right.
सेशन में इंशाल्लाह.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Everyone.
Allah Hafiz.
Bye-bye. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah.